Hello everyone, welcome to our live podcast. This is Fatima Businesswali and today we are going to have a very meaningful and insightful conversation. I am truly excited to welcome our special guest Anuradha Lokuketadoda, a DENEKI coach who works with women to help them heal for toxic relationship and reconnect with her inner strength. Today's discussion will focus on healing mindset, self-worth and personal growth. If you are someone who believes in learning, growth, and choosing your mental peace, this session is for you. And thank you so much for joining us. And thank you, Anuradha, for being here. So let's start. Hello, Anuradha. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Fatima, thanks for having me here. It's a pleasure.
Okay. Now I would love to invite you to introduce yourself and share a little about your journey with our audience.
I'm a life coach, and I help people to recover and rebuild a life after toxic relationships or challenging relationships, um, because that's something that we don't like to talk about these days, because you suffer in silence. And I have got into this field from my own personal experience, having to survive a very toxic relationship, and having to take that decision to leave with my three daughters. Um, they were all under the age of 10 at that time. Um, so that's what really inspired me to understand there's so many out there who needs help, and my journey where I got stuck and the challenges that I faced and how I overcame them. I thought that would, if I share that and help people, surely that's gonna help people who are considering to leave or considering to rebuild a life after this kind of a situation. So that's a nutshell in myself.
Okay, that's great. Really interesting. So, Anuradha, my first question is what inspired you to become a Deniki coach?
um, Primarily or main reason is my personal experience, Fatima. Having to endure a very long-term marriage over decades, like over 2 decades, and finally seeing and experiencing this and accepting that that's not the treatment that I should be deserving, and having the courage to leave, not just by myself with my three daughters, and having to rebuild a life from zero, because during these challenging relationships, you don't really have a lot of things for your own. Everything's taken from you, including your self worth and everything. So I had to rebuild a life. I think that's really what inspired me to become a coach and help other people who are going through similar kind of situations.
Okay, that's great. So, my next question is why do you think toxic relationships are so common today?
I think lots of men and women, or same relationships, same gender relationships, what's happening is these days, as children, when we grow up, this applies to everyone, from 0 to 7 years, we're children, right? And we're still under our parents. We don't have money to go out there and do things and build a life. We're dependents. And we go to school and we get taught by teachers. All these people, your teachers, your parents, your preachers, everyone, they put certain kind of conditioning into your life. And 0 to 7 is like a sponge. You absorb everything literally as it is. There's no second guessing. If someone turns to you as a 5-year old and say, I think you're too loud, the message you're getting is that you shouldn't be making noise and you're too loud, and that's you, every time you open your mouth you feel like you shouldn't be. So this conditioning is applying to everyone, and that conditioning is what creates wounds internal wounds, your inner child wounds. Lots of people who are now entering relationships doesn't do the work that's required beforehand to heal those wounds, and they get into relationships with the wounds. And when you really live a life like a couple with children or other challenges, then only stress comes up. Stress is actually triggering those wounds. So what happens is, between a couple, they trigger each other. What's really happening is their inner childhood wounds are the ones talking to each other in that relationship. And that's why most of the times these relationships either become dysfunctional or they become really toxic, because they cannot do the work or go past that stage. And it's very difficult when it comes to that end stage, because some of the patterns are very much done with awareness and deliberate, with the intent to harm another person. So until you take a step back and understand and reflect, self-reflect on your behavior, it's very hard to go back. And that's why we see it very common these days. All those conditioning and all that plays a big role.
Okay, amazing answer. So my next question is, what is the first sign of an unhealthy relationship?
The first sign of an unhealthy relationship is you're not yourself. You can't be yourself with the other person. That's the first sign. That's the first sign that you're going to feel. Your body is going to feel even before comes out in words. Because if you're comfortable around other people, you don't need to think, right? You say what you want and you behave the way, like how you behave. And the first sign is that you can't do any of that. You feel like you need to think twice. You need to say certain things and act in a certain way. And it's like always under anxiety or constant pressure, because it's like walking on eggshells.
Okay, that's great. So my next question is, what is one small step to start healing?
One small step to start healing is, if you're already in a toxic relationship, Fatima, um, while you're inside that relationship, it's very hard to sometimes start your healing journey, because someone in the house is acting, is actually very, it's very difficult, it's very challenging. If you have walked away, then that's where your healing journey starts, because staying inside that kind of a toxic environment and trying to heal is going to work against each other, because you try and do something good and then something else comes up and then it backfires and you go back to the old loops. Best is to leave that relationship or leave that environment and first start with yourself, which is called self love. Lots of these inner child wounds are from your young 0 to 7 age, because of conditioning has come because of the things people have installed in us. Either you have to please, you have to be able to please them, you have to, either you're too loud or too emotional. Those kind of things are like it's imprinted, like a imprinted onto you. So you feel disconnected from you and you start to hate yourself, and that's why you don't love you. And that's why you let other people do all these things to you. Does that make sense? Otherwise, if you love yourself, you wouldn't actually let anyone do anything to you or say anything. So, number one step is leave that environment and start it inwardly inside. That's the number one thing, with self love. Forgive yourself and start looking at places where you overgive or you try to please people, or you have to be very like shrinking to please someone else or to fit into something, or you need a lot of validation, or you need a lot of attention. Those things are all inner child wounds, and there's like good reasons for that. Best thing is to first look into your inner self and start healing them. So I know in my example, the way I was raised, people pleasing has been a very big thing for me. I was unconsciously overgiving in so many relationships, and carrying them, emotionally carrying them. And it took me a long time to understand. And it's not even when you understand it for the first time you can fix it. It takes like number of steps to fix it. It's like you're learning to ride a bike. Like you fall down, and then only a couple of practices you get that balance, and then you know when you're dealing with people, yes, I should actually keep my energy balanced here, shouldn't overgive or try to please them, because that's where you claim yourself. When you love yourself, you don't need other people's to please other people or them to come and validate you.
That's very interesting answer, Anuradha. So my next question is, how important are self-worth and boundaries in healing?
How important is self-worth, and what's the other one?
Yes.
Self-worth. So self-worth is very important, because only the time you claim yourself for the first time by accepting everything as to who you are, and then starting to see that and starting to love you for who you are, then you actually claim your self-worth and your self-esteem. Because all these years you have been trying to live a life to other people's conditioning, and they probably tell you different things like you are XYZ and all that. But your real value or your self-worth is when you start loving all parts of you and giving all the self-love that you can, and accept yourself. That's the day you realize I am much more worth than what I was told or what I was led to believe. Lots of survivors, they have lost themselves in the long run of a marriage or through a relationship. By the time they leave, or by the time they make the decision to leave, they don't even recognize who they are in even in the mirror, because it's that different. That happens for a long time, for a very long time. You were trying to be something else than who you are. So once you leave, it's time to reclaim yourself and put every pieces back together, piece by piece.
Okay, that's good. So my next question is there a client success story that inspires you?
Yes, there's this lady, I wouldn't even call a client, it's someone that I knew. There's no financial kind of a commitment there, but it's the story that's really stands out. She's a mother of two girls, and what situations were like, there was so many incidents in her life that she experienced, but she never thought the relationship is a toxic one, because she was the one who wants to be the person to glue it together. So among all the things that happened, she was the one to keep going and believe that this is a marriage that I should keep together despite so many things that's happened. But the time came and she had to, in that situation, the other person moved out. She had to be alone with the kids, and manage her life, and then after go through a legal custody battle, building the life. And I was also like witnessing and watching this, seeing the day-to-day challenges that she faced, things ranging from looking after the children, their sicknesses, and as soon as if she was to slip and not look into one child for something, and then if that child was to go and speak that with their father, it's the other party who's actually trying to use lots of information against her. So she had to go through so much of those issues all by herself, managing two young children, and having to go through the legal battle. And it's remarkable with how she was doing. She's didn't turn her back, and she didn't actually want to go back to the old way of things. She currently also, the matter still going, fighting through the court, and doing everything that she can do as a mother to look after her two daughters. Her story, I've been coaching her uh, in relation to certain situations that she faced. It's amazing. It's remarkable. It's only the women who face these situations, they know exactly what challenges they come when they go through the legal system, when they have to co-parent. That's the difficult part. Because when you leave a toxic relationship, if you're just by yourself, it's very easy. You leave and you resolve the relationship in legal terms. But when there's children involved, it's much more complicated, Fatima. It's actually very complicated. Sorting their legals, the custody through the legals, and after that, co-parenting with your ex-partner who is toxic or who is challenging. It's not easy. It's a challenge that you face every single day when you are parenting with them, with your children, whether they're at his house or even with you. The problems are always there. So that's the thing. There's no magical manual for these women to refer to, and okay, when this problem comes, this is what I have to do. It's always your willpower that you need to be using, and the faith that you need to keep, that I'm going to survive this situation. It's not that there's a turn around or turn and go back. And these women, they are very they're strong.
Okay, that's great, Anuradha. So my next question is, what mindset shift help most in healing and growth?
Did you say mindset?
Like,
What was
uh,
the question again?
what mindset shift help most in healing and growth?
The mindset, I think, if you have an open mindset, that would be very good. A mindset where you need to focus on you. Because what I see these days, even when I look in through social media or forums, group chats, all that, I see there's a huge number of group, what's the word? It's like online group forums on Facebook and all that, where they are dedicated for toxic relationships. And you think when you look into these,
Okay, that's great, Anuradha. So my next question is, how can women handle social pressure and judgment? Anuradha, can you hear me? सो हेलो एवरीवन, आई थिंक हमारे गेस्ट का नेटवर्क लीक हो गया है। तो अभी हम अपने पॉडकास्ट को एंड करते हैं एंड थैंक यू कहते हैं अपने गेस्ट को जिन्होंने बहुत अच्छे से हमें हर चीज़ को एक्सप्लेन किया। सो थैंक यू सो मच Anuradha for sharing your valuable insights, experience and advice with us today. So I really enjoyed your podcast. I am truly inspiring and I sure your audience has learned a lot from your journey. So everyone watching, thank you so much for joining us live today's session, and uh, don't forget to like and share our sessions. A big thank you, and again to thank you our special guest Anuradha Lokuketa to all. Thank you once more again, and goodbye. See you in the next podcast. Allah Hafiz.